Get away.
Welcome back to our very first Armageddon game. No draws between these two players. Such a fighting match. This is the only match that goes to Armageddon. Hans Niemann won his match against Sindarov. And what's going to happen now is we're going to do a bidding for the time control. So the player of these two who bids lower will get the time they bid, they will get black, and they will have draw odds. So our chief arbiter, Gerhard Becktown-Nurli, will now give the notepads to both players. Both of them will write down a time that's under 5 minutes, and the player who bids lower, as I said, will get black and will get draw odds. So we get for Prague 4 minutes 27, and for Fabi 4:02. So Fabi will play with black. He will have 4 minutes and 2 seconds, and a draw will see him through to the next round. Now it's time to move over here to the table to find out the final position for today. And we have Jermaine here, who's the captain of Team USA Chess Boxing. The World Championship is coming up in September. Give it up for him. And Jermaine, are you ready?
.356.
Number 356. Thank you so much, Jermaine. Give it up one last time for our players who've given it their all. They will have 5 minutes now before we get to the decider, the Armageddon. To the players, best of luck. To our audience, please enjoy.
Never seen before, to make sure you don't land up in too much trouble out of the very first moves.
Fabiano, he needs a good opening. It's as simple as that. You cannot burn time in the early stages. It's a handshake. We are off. It's a c-pawn pushing forward as Fabiano almost copies, almost echoes a slightly more modest response. And both sides have opened up a set of bishops along the way. Pragg already burning a bit of time here, Tanya.
And that's absolutely key for him to speed up. He's thinking about, does he continue with the pawn push? Does he build the center? Or has Fabi set up the position where he'll get a Slav-esque kind of a position, pushing his own d-pawn forward on the next move? That's too much time, Pragg, you're taking. It's an Armageddon.
A 58-second differential has shrunk to 30, just like that, on the second move of the game.
And he does go for the idea that we were talking about, but he had to play it in 10 seconds.
Yeah, Fabi's going to move a little bit quicker here. He knows that he has to gain back some of that time. Already, though, we can start to see that e-ball bar creeping a little bit more towards the favor of Fabiano, but I'm not going to read into that too much, as we've seen the way that all the games have gone here today. Here's some tension towards the middle of the board. The first pawn's facing off here on the C and D files.
Yeah, this is great news for Fabiano. He actually brings his queen out. Watch out, Pragg. There is a nasty check in the air, the white king on an open diagonal. That could be dangerous if you're not careful. The white knight comes out to block. For now, the white dark squared bishop ready to jump out to block. Fabi brings the piece out. Super speedy from Fabiano. Great stuff so far from black.
One more time. That knight's about to jump to the h4 square. Line up with the queen with some big threats on the right side of the board. I completely agree. The opening has gone in Fabi's favor. And the clock says, well, starting to level out, which would mean Fabi just has result odds for nothing.
Okay, here, black is the first to get the king to safety, first to castle. The white queen steps out of the way. Pragg wants to echo that. So far, so good for Caruana, but Praggnanandhaa has been so impressive in the last game and in other time scramble situations before.
Yeah, but feeling the need to speed up as Fabi has played a blitz of moves. He got his king castled already, so he's committed to the right-hand side of the board, as is Praggnanandhaa.
It feels like centuries ago that Praggnanandhaa picked Fabi as his opponent, and it was just last night. Just at dinner last night.
Nah, 3 years have passed since then. What are you talking about?
We're 3 years older, that's for sure. Hundreds of grey hairs older.
Okay, Fabi having to spend a little bit of time, though, now, right? So we're back up to a 37-second differential. That's going to feel good for Pragg after he gave away a little bit of it very early on in this Armageddon matchup.
Yeah, both sides bringing pieces out, very logical, and Fabi tries to lock things down. Maybe he missed a trick by not caging this white knight in the corner. He could have done that by pushing an f-pawn forward a bit earlier, but still very healthy position here for Caruana.
And the clock truly is the 17th piece when it comes to an Armageddon. So it's very important, even if you're not precise on the board, you're not objectively playing the best moves, as long as you're not making any big inaccuracies, big blunders, keep control on the clock. That's pretty much of a key as what's going on the board.
The knight jumps. The engine does not like it. A red cross appears there. The black queen retreats. Watch out. The white knights are within forking distance. The black pawn threatening to step forward.
Yeah, didn't like Prag's move. Disliked Fabi's even more, though, as we see it swing into the favor of the player with the white pieces for the first time
And
since the opening of the game. Here, a flurry of trades. We're going to see some pieces leave the board. The queen is under threat here, hit by the bishop. Gets the question mark, but the queen will have to retreat. And just like that, look at the clocks. Nearly dead even.
And usually the dynamic David of rook versus two minor pieces favors the side with the minor pieces, but that's not the case because Pragg here is about to build a big center with his pawns.
Yeah, just to remind everyone, the current material balance, white has a rook and 2 pawns for the enemy 2 knights. Rook and 2 pawns, that's 7, 2 knights worth 6. Small material advantage for Pragg, although a question mark given to this last move. There are tactics in the air. The black knight is jumping. Which way is it going to go? It goes towards the white king. Could have gone the other way as well. A bit of a missed opportunity there. There were actually some nasty knight forks that Pragg could have utilized. Fabiano could have utilized even. And this one's still very, very tense.
But actually the position's looking beautiful for white right now. And once again, if black is able to set up an attack with the minor pieces and the queen, that's the counterplay that Fabi is looking for, but not easy to get to that king. Meanwhile, Pragg keeps advancing the pawns, keeps the pressure on the clock, attacks the knight, pushes it back. Is Fabi going to move ahead with it?
Yeah, you either jump into the heart of your opponent's position. Fabi did something very similar earlier today when he beat Pragg, or you go back to a nice outpost. I'm very surprised Pragg actually allowed this outpost to exist. The black knight looks healthy in the center, and the only way to support this is to throw the white pawns up the board before it's too late. We talk about Connect 4, push those pawns. Pragg needs an easy plan here.
Yeah, knight retreating to d5 for the first time. Fabiano has the lead on the clock as Pragg is the first to dip under 2 minutes here. So he does what you asked for. He gets that Connect 4 quickly, though. The bishop responds to the right-hand side of the board, threatening that rook down there on f1. Pragg now giving another think.
That is bad news for Indian fans. The fact that Pragg has gone below the clock compared to Fabi. 2 minutes for Fabi, minute and 40 seconds for Pragg. Problems on the board as well. Big threats. And look at this. This is absolute chaos.
Yeah, he's giving away the rook there in exchange for the bishop.
And the big pawns.
A bit of material grabbed back here now. A point advantage in material for Fabiano, but the computer says it's dead even. At the end of the day, the computer evaluation doesn't matter too much when you've only got a minute and 30 seconds to deal with.
Wow, bishop trade offered there. Pragg says no, keeping his pieces on the board, and Fabiano brings his bishop out. It looks so dangerous, though. The black king is being stared at. The white pawns look super strong, but a piece is a piece. Can the knights make their worth count here?
That's the big question. It's so much about the clock. Remember, there's no increment. There's no bonus.
Finds the best move in the position. Knight to e6.
Taking advantage of the pin along the F line. You can't pick up that knight. There's a checkmate by picking up the rook.
Yeah, pin on the f-file. Big, big target in the center. The base of white's pawn chain now. I just don't think you can hold it. You cannot defend that pawn with any pieces. The white king, therefore, steps forward, defends its rook. But that is bad news for Praggnanandhaa. He's stepping forward with pawns, but now black can blockade on the dark squares.
Yeah, he feels like he has to press forward, right? It's win or you're out here for Praggnanandhaa.
Okay, Fabi just needs to move his queen. He's thinking about other ways of doing it. There we go. He slides across. The black knights look super strong now.
It's a knight for just 1 pawn in this position. Fabi has an extra knight, a completely winning position, but Pragg's going to play this out until the end. Now the queen comes into the game, threatening a big check at the center of the board. Pragg's king feeling very bare.
He needs a miracle, Praggnanandhaa. This is a nasty check. Full piece down as well. The white king hiding on the edge of the board. Fabi centralizes his queen. The knight forks are coming. The knight attacks are coming.
What a beautiful power performance by Fabiano so far in this Armageddon with the black pieces. He's completely dominating the position right now, and the clocks are level.
50 seconds each, though. He brings his knight in. Wow, he's dropped it behind Pragg's lines there. That's a check, forcing the white rook to give itself up. The white king otherwise would have been in big, big danger. It's a full rook advantage for Caruana. He's got 48 seconds on the clock. Time advantage 2. This should be enough, surely now.
That's a whole rook, and Pragg trying to keep as many pieces on the board. It is going to be a flagging game. That's the big hope right now. Fabi coming in with the queen, a big check being threatened. He's about to get the queens off the board. He does it.
It's only the clock that can save Pragg. He needs to flag Fabiano Caruana, but it's so difficult here. Piece trades.
Pragg's got less time on the clock as well. Is the 17th piece that's not in his favor. It's the board that's not
It's
on
all
his
tied
favor.
up.
This is going to be Fabi's match.
They're playing second for second, though. Like we said, now it's a flagging game here for Praggnanandhaa.
We need to see the clock. It's all about the clock now. Fabi is simply winning on the board. No doubt about it. No counterplay at all.
Look at that, it's 22 seconds. He's got a 1 second advantage right now over Fabiano. They got to absolutely blitz out these moves.
Oh, struggling to move his king.
Completely lost.
More pieces fall off the board. There goes a bishop. Now he's got a full rook like you talked about. He's going to check the king on the side of the board, repositioning towards the middle. The king on the chase as well. Just quick moves, blitzing out. Can't give away a single move blunder, but it's more important to look at the clock. Look at this, 17 seconds apiece, 19 seconds. Just trading back and forth. It's too quick to follow in so many ways. We're playing a flagging game. Can Praggnanandhaa do it for Fabiano? He just has to hold on, and he does just that. Fabiano Caruana in a marathon of the day. He was pushed all the way to Armageddon. 7 total games of freestyle chess, and he does it once again. Mr. Consistency is going to the semifinals.
Absolutely stunning stuff, David.
So convincing, Fabiano, not just on the clock, where